G'day, FIDE Master John Curtis here. As you know, I stream on Twitch TV under the title of FM John Curtis Chess. And one of the things that my followers and subscribers always tell me is that they say, John, you tell a very good story. So today I'm going to tell you the story of a chess terrorist. That's right, a chess terrorist by the name of Haji, Ibrahahi Mohoglu. You heard it first. This is an expose. Not many people know about this, but triple world chess champion Cjs Purdy, Cecil Seddon John Purdy, I got it right, who was chess champion of the world 3 times in correspondence chess. He hunted down and he detected and found the chess terrorist. That's right, of correspondence chess. It was terrorising the world, right? He was terrorising the world because he was using a pseudonym. But who was he? Well, we're going to tell you, right? So I've wrote this down for you. I've gone, greetings YouTubers. Let me convey to you a comical story of mischief, practical jokery in the Australian chess community that if we revealed in the 1970s when this took place, would have shaken the mainstream international correspondence chess to its core, to its very, very, very core, its old school principled core. The setting is in the 70s when the whole chess world was abuzz. It was opening up after the Bobby Fischer-Boris Spassky match in Reykjavik in 1970. It turned the whole world of chess into an international focal point of humongous public interest, as we all know. That was 50 years ago. The most prominent of our featured chess players in this little trilogy was Cjs Purdy. We mentioned him first because he was a triple world correspondence chess champion. He'd just written a book on Bobby Fischer. He wrote a book on Bobby Fischer called How Fischer Won. And Bobby Fischer, he exclaimed about how he really admired the writings of Cjs Purdy, and his analysis was something to behold. And they were the words of Bobby Fischer, Robert J. Fischer. So the most prominent of our featured chess players, as I said, was Cjs Purdy, triple world correspondence chess champion. Yes, that was when internet chess was not played. Chess was played by postal letter. If you can't afford to go over to Stockholm or Sweden to play a game of chess, well, you write your moves on a letter and you post it off to your opponent, and you in Sweden or Stockholm or wherever it might be, or London, and they would write back to you, and with their reply, the move, and the game would continue. And obviously games of chess took months and months and months, you can imagine, couldn't you? It'd be a very difficult. There was one story of 2 chess players that sent a move off to each other, one move every Christmas. And I believe the game went for many, many decades. But I don't know whether the game was ever finished or whether one of them might have passed away of old age. You'd have to look that one up. But as it was, Cjs Purdy was both a hyper-modern and old school by today's standards. So as far as his journalism and his analysis and everything else, he was hyper-modern in his attitudes, but he was a very core, reserved gentleman as well, and fit in really well with the featured establishment of the time. Right? His son went on to become Justice John Purdy. He was a good friend of mine, and he won the Australian Championship when he was only 19. No mean feat at all. CJS, or Cecil, to his friends, he ran Chess World Chess Shop, and the magazine, that Bobby Fischer, as I said, once praised Cecil's analytical ability. It was this ability the world champion used to track down the then chess terrorist Haji Ibrahahi Mohoglu. Right. This is a true story. In his then capacity, so he was actually probably president of the International Correspondence Chess Association, if not the New South Wales Correspondence Chess Association. Such was the World Chess Champion's prestige in the Australian community. Not many Australians held a World Chess Championship title. The second player in this comedy was Practical Joker and then New South Wales Chess Champion of 1968, one Peter Rabbit. No, it wasn't Peter Rabbit. Peter Rabbit was mischievous. He was very mischievous. If you've seen the movie Peter Rabbit, you know that Peter Rabbit was telling all the other little rabbits to get up to a whole lot of mischief. No, his name was Peter Parr, P-A-R-R. He was the son of Frank Parr, right? Now, Frank Parr was a noted UK master. Never held a FIDE title, master or international master, but he once actually won the Hastings Premier Congress in 1939-40. And he won with 6 out of 7, undefeated with 2 draws. He was actually British Correspondence, yes! Just like our earlier character in our play was Triple World Chess Champion Cjs Purdy. Well, here we have Frank Parr, father of Peter Parr, Peter Rabbit Parr. He was actually British Correspondence Chess Champion in 1948, 1949, 1950 and 1956. So you wouldn't think the terrorist could be Peter Parr? No, not with his father being such an esteemed, recognised master of British chess and having actually been Correspondence Chess Champion as well. Well, the plot thickens. Anyway, the mischievous young Peter Parr, would have known his dad would have been frowned on any folly of his skullduggery taking place in the realm of correspondence chess or any other chess for that matter. Now, the third character in our real life play was the terrorist, Haji Ibrahahi Mohoglu. So now you know Peter Parr wasn't the terrorist. Okay. Who was Haji? Who was the terrorist Haji? How did the world chess champion Cjs Purdy discover his crimes? Where did Haji disappear to? We never heard of him again. Well, truth is, I think I'm the only living survivor I know that can tell what I know of this sordid event. Why? Peter may have wanted to challenge authority in chess in the form of a practical joke. Peter Parr challenged authority in the form of a practical joke? Well, in actual fact, Peter Parr in 1968 was, I'll fill you in here, he was playing in the New South Wales Chess Championship. He'd just emigrated from the United Kingdom, right? And his father was pretty strict. Now, there he is, he's sitting down there in the final round of the New South Wales Chess Championship, and he has to beat this fellow to win the title. And you know who it was? It was Cjs Purdy, former triple world correspondence chess champion. Yes. So he was sitting down, Peter Parr was sitting down in 1968, so we're going back fewer years earlier, and he's sitting down playing Cjs Purdy, and Peter used to regale people of this story many times over, and he used to say, I'm chess champion of 43,000 square miles of territory. Yes, he did win the New South Wales Chess Championship that year, and he did beat Cjs Purdy. But can I tell you how he beat Cjs Purdy? Well, in actual fact, the triple world chess champion was sitting down, and he was getting a bit older then, and he was playing Peter, and he was all over Peter. Peter was totally dead lost. His position was totally crushed, finished, zip, kaput, smashed, boom, boom, boom. He was gone. But Cecil was sort of nodding off, and he forgot to press his chess clock. In those days, we had a manual chess clock on the side of the board, and after your opponent moved, you had to press your clock. Well, Peter was going like this, and he's going, oh, gee, you give me problems, Cecil. He's looking at the board. And he went on and on and on. He did the best display of acting since the terrible Errol Flynn, right? And poor old Peter, poor old Cecil Purdy, he didn't know that his clock was ticking. And he sat there for 40 minutes and he lost on time. And that is how Peter Parr won the New South Wales Chess Championship in 1968. Right. Anyway, one day, this so-called New South Wales chess champion, Peter Parr, who won in very auspicious circumstances, he came up to me and he said, John, he said, I'm playing a prank on the Correspondence Chess Association. I said, you're not, are you? So, yes, so it was Peter Parr. He was the one that was playing the prank. And he said, I'm playing under a pseudonym. Now, I can't remember what name Peter was playing under. I can't remember what name he was playing under. So, yes, Peter Parr was not Haji Ibrahahi Mohoglu. He was not the terrorist. Of course, he was a terrorist if he was terrorising Correspondence chess players, playing under a pseudonym and winning all the games and his rating going up, 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 and yet he was supposed to be a beginner. Well, things were, Correspondence chess champions, they would be all very, very, very shaken, disturbed and terrorised. That's right. Anyway, he said, I need somebody who's very, very strong at chess. I need someone to help me. And I said, what do you mean, someone to help you? I said, you've got to be kidding, haven't you? And he said, I want them to get a phenomenal rapid rating improvement and rock the ratings in the Correspondence Chess Championships. And he said, I've got it all worked out, he said, just like little Peter Rabbit. Honestly, this does remind me of Peter Rabbit in the Peter Rabbit movie, I'm telling you. Ha, ha, ha. I said, I'm not sure about this, Peter. I said, come on, mate. I said, and he said, they'll never find out who you are. They'll never find out who you are. And I'm thinking of Peter Rabbit and the Rabbit Patch, and how we all get caught. Peter Rabbit gets away. Anyway, he said, I've got a perfect name for you. I said, what do you mean you've got a name for me? You mean I'm not going to play under my own name? Peter said, Haji Ibrahahi Mohoglu. He says, I made it up myself. Well, I played for months and months and won all my games, and my rating was soaring up, and I thought, well, this is going all right. And then one day, the world chess champion, Cjs Purdy, walks over to me, right? And he whispered in my ear. He said, Johnny, he says, from now on, he said, Haji Ibrahahi Mohoglu is no more. He said, Correspondence chess will never hear from him again. And you won't be banned from chess for life. I thought, oh, gee, well, that sounds like a good deal. And so I took him up on it. I thought it was a great deal. And I just nodded to Cecil and I said, would you mind autographing your book for me on how Fisher, it was titled How Fisher Won. He'd just written the book on how Bobby Fischer won, and I had the book there, and I said, "Oh, would you mind signing it for me?" And so he autographed my book, and from that day then, I didn't use my pseudonym Haji Ibrahahi Mohoglu, and I gave up my life as a chess terrorist, right? Now, I don't know what he said to Peter Parr, but he went on to be a chess journalist, president of New South Wales Chess Association, and he captained Australia's Olympic team for many years, for about 6 years. 6 times, I think it was. And sadly, Peter Parr passed away a few years ago. And that's Peter Parr there. That's Peter Parr there. There he is there. That's at his funeral. Chess journalist, international chess arbiter, and captain of the Australian Olympic team, Peter Parr. He did it all. Our own Australian Peter Rabbit. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed that. And now with that, I might finish off with a game of chess just for you guys. And this game I've chosen is between Frank Parr, his father, who'd be very, very annoyed at what he did, and who did he play? Frank Parr played George Wheatcroft in the City of London Chess Club Championship in 1938. The game's a Neo-Grunfeld. D4, knight to F6. Right, now Frank Parr's playing the white pieces. C4, G6. G3, bishop G7. G3, bishop G7. It's the Neo-Grunfeld by Frank Parr. D5, C takes D5. D5, C, oops. Bishop G2, was it? Was it bishop G2? Bishop G7, bishop G7, bishop G2, bishop G7, bishop G2, D5. Bishop G7, bishop G2, and D5. C takes D5, knight takes D5. C takes D5, knight takes D5. Now knight to C3 was played by Frank Parr. To C3. Knight takes C3, B takes C3, C5. Knight takes C3, B takes C3. And now C5. And the purpose of his opponent doing that is to attack the pawn structure along the long diagonal. C5. E3 castles, knight to E2. E3 support the centre, castles, and knight to E2. There we go, just supporting the central pawns. Knight C6, castles, C takes D4. Knight C6, castles, and C takes D4. C takes D4, E5, D5. C takes D4, E5, D5, exclamation mark. Knight E7, bishop A3. So the knight moves back. Bishop A3 pins the knight against the castle along there. Rook E8, knight to C3. Rook E8 off the pin, knight to C3, developing a piece. Queen A5, queen to B3, E4. Queen A5, attacking. Queen to B3. And now E4, attacking this knight, which is pinned to the castle. Knight takes E4, knight to D5. Knight takes E4, knight to D5. Black's a bit frightened of taking the castle because he's going to give up the long diagonal and the king would be really weak, the black king, right? So he played knight takes d5. Rook on the a file to c1, bishop e6. Rook on the a file moves it, and bishop to e6 develops the piece and attacks the queen. Rook to c5, queen to b6. Rook to c5, oh, he's attacking the knight. Queen to b6. So now he's moved his queen to b6. Rook takes rook to b5, queen to a6. So he attacks the queen. Queen to a6. So now if you take this knight, it goes rook takes knight, bishop takes rook, queen takes, and black can capture this bishop here. Hence, that's why he played queen to a6. Knight c5, knight takes e3. So he attacks the queen. And now black plays knight takes e3. He's attacking the queen over here. I don't know that that's a good move, but he decided to do that. Look, it doesn't look too good, but it's an attack and counter attack, isn't it? Eh? Let's see what happened after knight takes e3. Knight takes e3 is a question mark, exclamation mark. White played knight takes e6, then knight f1. Now the knight takes f1. And do you notice that White's got an attack on white squares? And White's going to have 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces, and Black's going to have 4 pieces, but he's going to have the exchange up. So Black will have the exchange. So Black's won the exchange, but has he won the game? The trouble is he's very weak on the white squares. So let's have a look and see what takes place here. Knight to g5, double exclamation mark, knight to d2. Knight to g5, he doesn't take the knight. He plays knight to g5, saves the knight. He's still on this knight, and he's on the queen takes pawn check. So he's attacking everything. Right? So it's a good move. If you can hold your knight and get this knight, well, then you'd be a piece up, wouldn't you? Right? So knight to g5, and let's see what was played. Knight to d2, queen takes f7 check. Oh my God. He saved the knight, but at what cost? Queen takes f7 check. King to h8. We know that that move's being played, don't we? Don't we, guys? King to h8. Bishop d5, threatening queen to g8 check. Wow. Bishop to d5, he moved here. He's threatening a check here, and if the castle takes the queen, it's mate with the knight. What a brilliant move, bishop to d5. Notice bishop d5 controls all the central squares for the black knight to move to as well. I love that move, bishop d5. Reminds me of some of my YouTube videos. h6, bishop b2. Plays h6, he's got to get away from the mate. And now look at this move. The bishop comes back, he leaves the knight there, and he plays bishop hits bishop. Now he's threatening checkmate again. Now if you take the bishop, It's checkmate here on the white square. So what do you do now? You can't take the knight. What do you do after bishop to b2 other than resign? What do you do? Is there a move? What did he play? He played knight. Oh my God. He played knight takes b3. He played knight takes b3, knight to f7 check. What? Oh no, the bishop. Oh, the bishop. Knight takes b3. No. Oh, hold on a sec. I've got it wrong. It's going to get this right. I thought bishop d5 was played here. Bishop d5. Queen takes. I'll just double check that. Let's go back here. Just double check that. But queen takes f7 check. King h8. Bishop d5. h6 was played. Bishop to b2. Black played rook to g8, then queen d7. There we go. Rook to g8 to stop the checkmate, of course. And now, why can't you take a rook with check? Why can't you take a rook with check? Just take a rook with check and mate with knight. He played queen to d7. Maybe he's in time trouble. He says, now white has two pieces hanging, but neither can be captured. Black played queen to a4, white played bishop to b3. Queen to a4. He said, oh, I'm going to hit your queen. Bishop to b3. What a silly move. Because he's still got the knight check. Knight takes b3, knight to f7. Check. Oh, he's got king to h7. So he must have played. Okay, so knight check, king to h7. I'll get it right. Knight to check, king to h7. Rook to h5, queen to a5. Rook to h5. Oh, he went over here. Oh, I love it. I love this move. Rook there. He's actually threatening pawn to. Threatening rook takes pawn check. Oh, hold on. He's threatening rook takes pawn check and knight double checkmate. Oh my God! What a good move. Now, if the pawn takes the rook, there's a queen check here. It's checkmate. Right? Can you see that after rook to h5? That's a great move, isn't it? Eh? I like that one. Rook to h5. His opponent played queen to a5. His opponent played queen to a5. He says, what? He went here. He attacked the rook. He says, I'm scared. Anyway, he took the pawn with check and his opponent resigned. Because after bishop takes bishop, we know that knight check is double check. Right, the king's got to go there, and that's checkmate. There we go. Well, that was a good game. That game was by Frank Parr versus George Wheatcroft in the City of London Chess Club Championship, courtesy of Wikipedia, I believe. And old Frank Parr, Peter Parr's father, he passed away. He once played in the British Chess Championships, and he beat George Allen Thomas, who was a good player, Robert Wade, who was a very good player and a great chess writer, and Jonathan Penrose. For the UK viewers, they would all know Jonathan Penrose. And Leonard Barden. We all know Leonard Barden. He had a draw with Leonard Barden. Leonard Barden was a great chess writer. So if you do research on chess authors, you will see that Leonard Barden was a great chess author. And there we go. And also he, by the way, they had the Frank Parr Memorial to him, he had a brother, David Parr, as well. Peter Parr had a brother, David Parr, as well. He passed away in 2003. But they say Frank Parr, Peter's father, was a gentleman and a character who enjoyed one of the longest chess careers on record, well known for his aggressive style and alertness to tactical possibilities. The game was from British Chess Magazine. And Frank Parr had a tapestry made up of one of the game's key positions, which he hung on the wall of his living room. So he's obviously very proud of it. Reinfeldt and Chernev, that'd be Irving Chernev, are one of my favourite books, Logical Chess Move by Irving Chernev. In their Fireside book of chess, they eulogise, in the opinion of the writers, Parr's masterpiece has well-founded claims to being considered the finest attacking game of all time. Of course, there has been a few others. After the final move, they exclaimed, one of the greatest combinative games on record. Isn't that nice? There we go. So there's the Parr legacy. I'd like to thank Peter Parr for being just such a wonderful friend. I miss him still, and I'm sure a lot of other people in the Australian chess community miss the great Peter Rabbit, Peter Parr. There he is. Passed away 8th of August 2013. Seems like yesterday.